good night, one and all. If you're a Lakers fan tonight, I know you're not happy. If you're a Brooklyn fan, you're biting your nails. I think only the Celtics fan and that guy down there, I don't know if he's a Milwaukee fan, if he's a Chicago fan, and he cheer for Giannis, he cheer for Chicago. I don't know. But if you're a Boston fan tonight, I know you're extremely happy, extremely proud of your team. But Lakers looking sad, Brooklyn looking sad. I don't know what's going on. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Doing good.
Good, man.
All right. So let's jump right into it. I was talking about it backstage, and we're talking about Doc Rivers. I want to touch on him really quickly. And the game against Detroit, they were up a lot to a little, and they ended up losing that game by about 8 points. Right? They're now fourth in the East. And Doc Rivers came out and he was saying, oh, it wasn't the bench fault. It was really James Harden's fault. Really and truly, that's what he's saying. VJ, let me start with you. A lot of persons have Doc Rivers right now as a top 3 NBA coach. I don't know why, but they say he is top 3. Do you think he's top 3?
I've been singing on it for years now, and as a Celtics fan, I'm very familiar with Doc Rivers. Even from 2008 when they won the championship, I didn't like Doc Rivers as a coach. So I've always think that he's way overrated, the most overrated coach in the league. And honestly, he's in the bottom 10 of coaches. Which other coach lose someone? He set a record for the most 3-1 loss, being up 3-1.
True.
He has set the record, and I don't think any coach will beat that record. He has that record for all time, for generations to come.
But VJ, a lot of persons can say, well, at least he got them up 3-1. You know, they say there's a lot to say in that at least he got them up 3-1. My biggest Doc Rivers thing was that finals against the Lakers when I think it was game 7 it was, and Doc Rivers, I think him bring probably $1 million. I don't know if you want to hear that story. He brought $1 million that game, leave it in the stands and say, hey, if you guys want it, you guys can have it if you win the game. Obviously, Celtics end up losing that finals. Kobe took over and stuff. But with the Clippers, with Lob City and Chris Paul, Cream, Doc Rivers, where do you rank him? Not even all time, current coach. Because we see Ty Lue is now taking over of the Clippers, doing his thing. Where do you rank Doc Rivers? Do you think he's a good coach?
Yeah, I think he's okay coach, so to speak. In terms of ranking, in probably in the top 10 coaches currently in the league. But there are still question marks in terms of how he uses his squad and team in terms of rotations and things of that nature, and how he conducts interviews, post-game interviews now. Although I think that last quote was kind of taken out of context. It wasn't really directly blaming James Harden.
Yeah, but you know how it go when you spin things like that.
It's gonna be it's gonna take on fire. That take on worse coming off the whole Ben Simmons scenario. So
Exactly.
but definitely he's average pretty much. I wouldn't be in the top 5 coaches. I think Spurs is a better coach. I think Nick Nurse is a better coach. Ty Lue. So there's other coaches.
What about Milwaukee coach? Is he a better coach?
But
Yeah.
They're on the same level.
No, sir.
This man, I tell you, if any of Milwaukee didn't get past Brooklyn last year, he would have
get fired. What?
Of course.
Hey, the man was so bad in that series, boy. But, we'll talk about him. But Devin, as VJ mentioned, he won the championship with Celtics. He failed with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. He failed with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Now he has Joel Embiid and James Harden. if he fails again, David, should we just, because he was going to take some time away from coaching, and he said Daryl Morey is the only person he would have worked for, so that's why he came back. But when you look at it, David, Doc Rivers, do you think it's now time for him to hang it up? Because I think even Greg Popovich should hang it up too. All these coaches of the older generation. But Doc Percy, do you think it's time for him to go?
I wouldn't say it's time for him to go, but what I would definitely say is he's overrated. They rate him more than I see him to be rated. Like I would say he's a good coach, but they put him in the league as a I wouldn't say very good, that's an excellent coach.
Yep.
That's how they rate him. They rate him as being excellent, but I don't see him as like good, close to being good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because Kems, one thing I'm not gonna remember specific because I can't do the research to find those things. But I remember that series with them and Kobe and that time. Like there are some players there when I look at it, it's just the heart of those guys, like Ray Allen and KG and them guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just a play and Rondo. Because sometimes when you have big time players, where you can see where the coaching cause those big time players to work well. Like it's not down to coaching, you know what I mean? And that team, that's what I've put some respect on Kobe name. You know? That team should have beaten Kobe more than once. You know? That team should have beaten Kobe. Kobe should, because like to me they had a better team, and Kobe got the better.
But Devin, so yeah. I don't want to really switch the argument, but just to let you know, Kobe wasn't the one that saved that series for the Lakers. Just to let you know, it wasn't really Kobe.
Who saved it?
Who saved it?
Yeah, who saved it? If it wasn't,
let us talk about.
Without getting into that,
it's about 4 persons we could have named right now, and Kobe would have been 5th, but we never get into that. But Gary, Doc Rivers, what are your thoughts on Doc Rivers as a coach, boss?
Doc Rivers. You know what the guys are saying. I think his career, you could say it's overrated. He has had a numerous failures being up 3-1 and few occasions. I think 4 or 5 times losing the series. But I would say that he's a decent enough coach. I wouldn't go to VJ's extreme to say that he's in the bottom 10. He's definitely top 10 right now. Mm-hmm. But you can say that he had some poor management of his teams over the years in terms of how he manages players and how he handles the rotations of his teams over the years. But I think he's a relatively decent coach, but I wouldn't say he's in terms of all-time greatness, he wouldn't be right up there.
I think they did a coaches ranking, like a top 25 coaches all time, and he was up in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Yeah, it could be 25. He's in the top 25.
No, the media rate Doc for some reason, but let me tell you, see, if an NBA player did what Doc Rivers did as a coach, that NBA player would have been chastised every single day. Imagine LeBron being up 3-1 in multiple series and losing those series. Imagine KD doing that. Then they'll be chastised. But I want to switch on to our final rankings for the playoffs, right? And I know VJ himself, he had the Timberwolves up in there making it, and I was one of them who was laughing at him, said, Timberwolves? They ain't even winning anything, but Timberwolves shut me up. Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, even Patrick Beverly with his little annoying self in there playing some really good basketball over there. And I really think they're going to get the 6th place because I think they're fighting for it. I think the Lakers are desperate and they must beat Denver. And I don't think Jokic alone can beat the Lakers to how desperate they are. But, we will see. So, VJ, I want you to tell me, first I want you to tell me who you think is going to make. We're going to start with the West because we don't want to style the Lakers, I know. Right? So, let's start with the West. So, who you think, who is going to be the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th? And then you tell me who your top 6, or your top 6 is looking like for the West.
All right. 7th, 8th, and 9th.
and 10.
It's sticky between Timberwolves and Nuggets because, as you said, Nuggets have Lakers twice and Lakers determine right now. It's like must win every game.
Must
And I believe Wolves have the tiebreaker against the Nuggets. So if it's like a tie, Nuggets going to fall below. So I would, if I have to bet on it, I would have put Nuggets 7th,
All right.
Clippers 8th,
All right.
Pelicans 9th,
All right.
and I hate the Lakers, but I really want them at the 10th spot just to make the playoffs more interesting. So I'm going to put the Lakers at 10th.
You'll put the first 10. All right.
Yeah.
And how about your top 6 now?
Well, Suns have the first place and Grizzlies have the second place locked in pretty much.
All right.
Warriors doesn't look good. I think Mavericks can go past them because Curry is officially out for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I have Mavericks 3rd, then Warriors 4th, Jazz 5th, and the Wolves 6th.
Okay. All right. All right. So that's the West. Cream, let me hear your West.
What, the top 6?
I can start with the plane first. So tell me your 7 through 10th and then your top 6.
All right, so I think I will have it how it is now, except I'm going to bring in Lakers in the 10th spot and Spurs drop to 11. So Pelicans 9, Clippers 8, and T-Wolves 7.
Okay. All right, and then your top 6.
Suns, Grizzly. I think Dallas gonna finish ahead of Warriors. So Dallas, then Warriors, then Jazz, then Nuggets.
Okay. All right. Gary.
Yeah, man. All right,
I know there's no way you have Lakers in your top 10. I'm not even have to ask.
Come on, man. We need the Lakers.
I am speaking reason and logic, but I'm looking at the 7 to 10 spot. All right. I am going to leave the Lakers out. Reason being, I'm being looking at the schedule. There are 5 games left, and I think BPI have them favored in one of those 5 games. They have a brutal.
Just
5
against
games.
OKC is the only team they favored against.
So I'm saying that I don't expect. Remember, they are a game up on their game behind the Spurs. I don't see it. I'm not saying it can't happen, but you have to be a eternal optimist for the Lakers.
Gary, listen.
So I leave them out of the play.
Hold on, Gary. So they have 2 games against Denver. They have 1 game against the Suns. They have a game against the Warriors, and then they have OKC.
All right, so they might. So I'm looking at least 3 losses there. All right, you can say what you want with the Warriors. As bad as they be missing Curry, I don't even see them beating the Warriors. They can, but I don't see it. So they can go 3-2. Best case scenario, or 4-1. So I don't really. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. So I leave them out. I put them in 11. So it's the Spurs. So the standings remain as is. I'd have 7 to 10. Spurs at 10. New Orleans at 9. 8 Clippers and Minnesota 7. I'm just gonna leave it there. But the top 6, I would have Phoenix, Memphis. Those lock up the 2 top spots. Golden State is gonna free fall. Dallas is playing well, and they are, as VJ said, they're not looking good. Curry's out for the rest of the season, so I drop them for 4, and I'll leave Utah and Denver at 5 and 6. So that's.
All right. So let me ask you guys a question. So based on the 8 that you guys gave me, do you think that the Pelicans and Spurs or Lakers, do you think that they won't make the playoffs at all? Do you think they'll make the play-in but not the playoffs?
All right, so I never give you mine yet because I was
No. I was just asking the people who gave you prayer.
Oh, okay, all right. Sorry.
Yeah.
For me, the top 8 remain. The top 8 remain. I don't see Pelicans and Spurs sneaking in. The top 8 is as it.
I think the Wolves will beat the Lakers in a series. I think Wolves and Clippers is going to play off first.
Yeah.
I think the Wolves going to beat them, so they're going to secure the 7th seed. Then the 8th seed is going to be against whoever win against Pelicans and if it's Lakers make it or Spurs.
Yeah.
I would have to give it to the Pelicans. I'd have to give it. I want to give it to the Lakers so they can get an 8 seed to play against the Suns and kind of have like a revenge matchup, especially since AD was talking trash, saying oh it's because they were injured or whatever. So I really want that Lakers first round matchup. But if I had to bet on it, I would have put Pelicans. Pelicans have beaten the Lakers multiple times this season, and is Zion supposed to be coming back? Correct?
Uh-huh.
Not
Yeah,
this.
yeah, we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah,
He's supposed to
I
be
think
coming
they
back
said that.
for the plane. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Devin, give
Yo.
me your 7 to 10 objectively, and then your top 6.
All right, so my fellow peeps, today's a sad day because today I really can't see that the Lakers not gonna make it to the plane, and this is with real regret because when I look at the schedule, like I look at Lakers' schedule, I'm start get upset because guess what? We have Denver twice.
Yeah.
Games. When I look at Denver, right, they're 46-32, and Minnesota is 44-34. So, as for Denver, there's no way you want to drop in the plane. There's no way you want to drop in the plane. So it's like it's not like Denver can easy and say, all right, yeah, because it's just 2 games behind, so they can't mess up.
Yeah.
So those games, Denver want to win those games.
Absolutely.
Because why would you want to go down to plane? Because even though you're ranked, whatever, you don't want to be in plane. Plane, anything can happen.
Any card can play. Absolutely.
You can drop in 7th, and guess what? When the real playoffs start, you're not in there. So with that being said, I have Pelicans and
Spurs.
and none of them not gonna make it to the real playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah, I've Clippers at 8, Minnesota. You know what I mean? And I want to add to what you say. I want to give props to VJ.
Yeah.
From early on. He said that. And then we're gonna have Golden State dropping down to 5th.
Me too.
I've Golden State dropping down to 5th.
Devin, but
Huh?
you have to look at the Spurs schedule too. It's not they don't have an easy schedule either because they have the Warriors, Dallas, Nuggets, Wolves.
Right. So yeah, honestly,
But them have Portland. But
at
listen.
this point, whosoever get 9 or 10, I just think Clippers and Timberwolves gonna be.
No. But listen, VJ, remember, the thing that beat the Lakers, is that the Spurs have the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Yes, and the Spurs, they play Portland tomorrow, and they are favored by 15. They're going to whop up Portland. So now, the Lakers have to hope now.
Lakers.
Yeah,
and you're at a disadvantage to these teams, though, Kev. It's not like it's like where if it had been closer with 7th and 8th, like Clippers and Timberwolves, they can rest. Like they can say, all right, Cat, you take a night off tonight.
Yep.
Because they definitely can't fall out, so they can rest certain players, make them ready.
Especially Warriors be doing that, Warriors be doing that. They be all right. Draymond, Clay, everybody rest. They probably can do that against the Spurs. They don't want LeBron. They don't want LeBron in there. I'm not reading this guy's comment. This guy can. Shaky shakes his head. Lakers have to pray. Them have to more than pray. I watched that final shot where LeBron shot the air ball, and I don't
Limerick.
know. No, baby, have some damn manners, boy. Limerick. All right. So let me tell you. So this is who I have. I'm giving you 1 to 8.
Yeah.
If you're not in the 8, you're lucky. So Phoenix will win. Memphis 2nd. Dallas 3rd. Utah 4th. Warriors 5th. Timberwolves 6th. Denver 7th. And there's the Lakers. Lakers now fool me. Clippers 8th. We're not gonna care about. No. Give me New Orleans 8. I think New Orleans will make it over the Clippers. I think that New Orleans team's scary, and if Zion comes back, because we're going to talk about Zion, but if he comes back with that New Orleans team, with Big Val up in there, and Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum has been balling, I don't think the Clippers can beat. I think it's going to be a high scoring, probably 150 to 147, something like that. But VJ, let's go to the East. Go ahead, give me your little standings. Right now, let us call it that Brooklyn is in 10th right now, because you're getting their
Game not done yet, boss. My
Well-
well, the game not done yet, my yo. Don't do that, my yo.
They're losing by 9. They're
Living
down
up ball.
9.
Put the goat more thing on the thing, my yo.
They're
Game not
down.
done yet, my yo.
Miss-
No, they're down 12 now. They're
Miss-
down 12 with 8 minutes to go. That's
So
all
what,
right.
so what
Misery
that
love
say?
company, man. Misery love company, man. So that's why
What
my
that say?
chest.
Much time that left on the clock.
All right, VJ, run it.
All right. Bucks seem like they're comfortable where they are. They should be resting players. So I'm gonna put Miami Heat first.
All right.
Bucks second. I think the Celtics have a hard schedule coming up. So I think Philly's going to pass them. So I put Philly third, Celtics fourth. Then I put the Raptors above Bulls.
All right.
I don't like that first round matchup with Celtics and Raptors. But anyhow, Bulls after the Raptors in 6. Cleveland should hold on to that. So they're not playing well, but they're up like 2-3 games.
They've been hurt though. They've been hurt.
Yeah, it's because they hurt, injuries, but they're up like 3 games on the rest of the teams below. So
Yeah.
they should be able to hold on to that 7th seed. Then, well, Park like they're going to be Nets tonight. So,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to put Hawks at that 8th seed. And then Brooklyn at 9th, Charlotte at 10th.
Damn.
And then for the play-in, so let me see, you're going to have Cavaliers and Hawks play against each other. I'm going to put Hawks 7th.
All right.
Then Cleveland going to play the winner of Brooklyn and the Hornets. And so Brooklyn should get the 8th seed.
Well, hey, VJ, remember, Harness just put the beating on Brooklyn,
Hey, I want Brooklyn to lose, so if I would be glad to be wrong. I want Hornets beat them.
Boy, me too. Nothing would suit me better than no KD and Kyrie in the playoffs. That would be amazing for me. So we all can watch the playoffs and have fun.
Bunch of haters.
All right, so you have Brooklyn 8th, VJ.
Yeah.
All right. David, come on, because you bet me big money say once Kyrie and KD
We not
is
betting no money, boss.
they're going to win a
We have a bet, but we
championship.
never betting no money.
Well,
Rephrase that.
well, me already.
Oh, yeah, you bet me
But
$5.
clarify the bit.
All right, David.
But you bet me
I'm ready
$5.
now.
So I can't $5. I'm bet you too.
Well, David, I'm ready now to state the price. So $200.
No. Well, me have to think about that. I can't just, me not rich like you. I have to look for my finance.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So I have a shocker for you over here, right?
All right.
So this is a shocker now. Cleveland not gonna make it to the final 8. Me tell you,
What?
Cleveland not gonna make it to the final 8. So
You mean after the plane?
yeah,
After the
After the
plane?
play.
yeah, after the
Yeah,
play,
yeah.
after the
I
play.
fully agree. Well, my list never have Cleveland after
Oh, you
the
never have
plane.
Cleveland? Okay, just
No,
think,
no.
all right. So, Brooklyn, we're gonna drop to 8.
You're gonna drop. You're
Right.
gonna drop to 8.
All right, we're gonna go.
Sorry, yet.
Sorry, we're gonna
Oh.
finish at 8.
Okay.
All right,
Oh.
Atlanta 9 or 10 between Atlanta and Charlotte. Don't matter 9 or 10. But for the play now, when we face Cleveland, we're gonna deal with Cleveland and then we're gonna go 7th because we're gonna finish at 8. Mess up Cleveland fall down, and then I'm gonna take Atlanta to beat Charlotte, right first, and then Atlanta gonna knock out Cleveland.
All right. So you are going to go. Hold on. So you are saying that Brooklyn will finish in 7th.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something now. Right now, Brooklyn don't want 7th because they don't want to face the Bucks because that's a.
Oh, so that's why I tell you now. Don't ask for 6 yet.
Oh, okay.
You never ask for 6 yet, because you see the way all this thing is going. Miami's gonna lose some games because guess what? You see Miami's schedule games. Them have worthless Orlando, so that's a win. But them have Chicago, Toronto, Charlotte, and Atlanta. Toronto don't want to come down to 7th, so they're gonna be a tough game. Charlotte and Atlanta, they're battling for down there, boss, to be whosoever gonna be 7th, 8th, or wherever they're gonna be. So those are some games for Miami. So I seen Bucks finish in first, even though they're resting players and whatever. Bucks have worthless Detroit. You get what I'm saying? They have Boston who don't really play for any seeding position of such. You know, so Bucks gonna still have players in there. So I see Bucks finishing number one. Right?
Yeah.
And as much as you talk about Nets and whatever, yeah, these teams are the top ones in the first round series. I'm telling you that.
Let me tell you something, Devin. Everybody wants to see Nets in the first round. Why? Because that team can defend. So everybody know that it's an easy, easy scoring. It's easy scoring. Yeah, remember when the trade happened, VJ, you weren't here. When the trade happened, I told them, I said, hey, when they can tell me, say, Seth Curry going to score all these 3-pointers, whatever you want to me. But when it's time to defend, each offensive player will pick on that guy. So said, so done till him start complaining about his ankle, and then tell me, oh, big drum, big penguin is going to grab those rebounds. And I said, okay, he will grab the rebounds, but what happened when he has to come on the perimeter and defend those centers? And I said, Giannis can't shoot trees, and Giannis have to blind him with a tree right in the face. So listen, I don't think Brooklyn is going to make the playoffs, I am sorry. I think they're going to miss the playoffs.
You don't think they're going to make the final yet?
I don't think they're going to make the final. I don't think so.
I actually agree with Devin that I would change my stand and put Brooklyn 7th, because I just realized that Hawks, even after tonight's game, Brooklyn going to have the tiebreaker against the Hawks.
No, but remember say Hawks will be up one game with this week.
Yeah, but Hawks have a hard schedule coming up.
Who them have? Who the Hawks have?
Them have Toronto.
Them have Toronto,
that's
Miami
Heat.
Heat.
That's how we
Toronto, Miami Heat.
Toronto not necessarily win. And at Toronto, them have Toronto. And them have Miami in Miami.
I think they're going to lose one of those games, and Brooklyn only have Cleveland, Rockets, Pacers, and Knicks left.
All right, listen. All right, so the Brooklyn is going to lose against the Knicks. The Knicks are going to play them.
Brooklyn have 3 teams, right? Where it's like they don't have nothing to play for unless they want to be a spoiler.
Yes, and the Knicks don't. The Knicks not going to help Brooklyn. Listen, VG. Listen. The Hawks have the Wizards. That's a W.
You get from Knicks. You get from Knicks.
If you follow Kings,
from Knicks.
If you follow Kings, Nets are gonna lose, and every other team are gonna win all of them remaining games. Nobody is not
no. So all right, the 4 games remaining, Hawks going 3-1 in those games. They're going to beat the Rockets. They're going to beat the Wizards, and I think they're going to beat either the Raptors or Miami. One of them teams going to win.
They're going to lose one game.
Huh?
They're going to lose one game.
They're going to lose one game.
And then you're saying Brooklyn going to lose against Knicks.
I think Brooklyn going to lose. Who else Brooklyn play? Tell me who else.
And they're going to lose against Indiana.
Indiana, Rockets, Knicks,
Houston,
Cavaliers.
And they're going to lose against Cleveland.
Nah, they're going to lose against the Cavs. They're going to lose against the Cavs and the Knicks. Yeah. Like these games coming rapidly, players need to get rest and ready for the play. All right, hey Gary, tell me though. Tell me your East.
All right. All right. So my top's going from the top. I'd give Bucks the number 1 seed. Miami has won 2 games. So I don't like how they're looking. So they're a game up, but I'd have them finishing first, and Miami second. I'd put Philly 3rd and Boston 4th. Chicago will hold on to that 5th seed. Toronto will end up being 6th. I have the Cubs at 7. I think the Hawks gonna pass the Nets.
You know that Chicago is down 20 right now, right? To the Heat. So you better put Chicago right in 6, because all I hear about DeRozan MVP.
I expect Toronto to move up past Chicago.
Yep, definitely. I want that Philly. I wouldn't mind that Philly Bulls matchup first round. Give them a nice gentleman suit 4-1. Get Harden ready for the playoffs. But who is your 7th and 8th, Gary?
Yeah, 7th seed. I'd go with the Cavs, and then Hawks will pass the Nets for the 8th seed. I have the Nets at 9 and Charlotte running out the top 10. Yeah. In the top 8, I think I don't just like I'm not going to hear. Well, I'm going to hear that I'm an 8, but I don't. Brooklyn is not showing me anything. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. It's not a hate
Nah, bet playoffs.
mentality.
Get up, put the money together and bet me. I know you're a Christian. I know you're a church man, but get up, put the money together and bet me.
No,
All right.
I'm not. Listen,
All right. All
the
right.
Brooklyn
So
Nets
you
have
want,
showed me nothing, guys.
okay.
I'm being
David,
honest. I'm less of
We
a
take
hater
any
than
bet,
Ken.
Kems. Any bet, say them make the playoffs. Any bet we take some
that they're making the playoffs, not
Yes,
the play,
any
you know, the playoffs.
playoffs.
All right.
Them not finished.
Right.
I don't see them
Any
finishing
bet
top
we take
two.
that.
All right. May I think about a 150 right now, but me talk to you after.
Yeah.
Put me in the bet too, because Nessa made the playoffs.
Oh, I don't think they're making it. I honestly like.
I don't feel comfortable.
All
The
right,
Nets
listen.
have showed me.
All right. In all seriousness, I watched the game against Charlotte, and Nets couldn't stop them. They couldn't stop Terry Rozier. They couldn't stop Scary Terry. They couldn't stop Ball. They couldn't stop what the guy name who used to play for Golden State. What name again? And they used to blame him for everything. Oh, I don't remember him.
Francis McMahon, what name?
Yeah, him and him have blonde hair now.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah. Couldn't stop him. Or couldn't stop anybody.
Kelly Oubre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop him. He was giving KD buckets, Claxton buckets, everybody buckets. So, hey, Devin, I'm going to take you up on your bet. Let me just finalize the figures. Let me finalize with my finance people. But trust me, Devin, you're in for a whole world of trouble. All right, listen. No, let us move on now because everybody get a little pick. So me, I already tell you, Brooklyn not making the playoffs. So let's move on. I want to know if AD has been with the Lakers for 3 years. Big trade away Lonzo, Ingram, all them. He has won 1 championship, 1 first round exit, and 1 obviously not in the playoffs. Would we, and VJ, I'll start with you. Is this a failure for the Lakers trading for AD and giving away all those young pieces?
No, it can't be a failure once they got a chip out. Right? A championship is one of the hardest things to win in the NBA. And they want a ring out of it, so there's no way you can call it a failure. If they had the young guys still, Ball and Ingram, I believe that they will still, be ringless for the past few years or whatever. So definitely not a failure. So I don't think Lakers should be disappointed or be upset at the trade. It was a good trade because they did what it's supposed to do in the championship.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have a different view or they share the same view?
Same view.
The trade was really twofold. So priority 1 was to win a championship, and priority 2 was for AD to be the foundation for which they move on after LeBron hangs up him shoes. That part of it not gonna work out. AD just can't stay upon the court for long enough for them use him as the benchmark for when they want to build run to move forward after LeBron. So yeah, the ultimate goal was to win a championship, which they did. So it's not a failure, but he's not somebody that they should be looking to. Or
All right. So Cream.
Yeah.
With that being said, do they trade AD?
I think they should listen. They should take offers and see what they can get for him. Because
All right,
going forward, after Brand hang it up, him can't lead them.
What do you think is out there now?
Is value for him? I'm not even sure, brother.
Because they were talking about with OKC for Shea and some picks because Lakers want picks.
They pretty much would be starting over. Lakers, that's what they would be doing pretty much. Blow it up and I look for start fresh and start new because them not have no more picks until what
2027.
27. So yeah.
All right. Here is Mr. Irvin saying AD is always injured and he's getting older. Don't see this getting any better. All right. So nobody else.
Just one quick thing, Ken, just to add to what you're saying, and add the point about the championship. I agree with that, and the point about like laying the foundation with AD. But here's another thing. Well, I look at to say, all right, the players that they got, right? Did those players excel more than players that they give up? Did they excel more than AD, or what are those players doing now? So Lonzo didn't get a chip as AD as yet. Joshua didn't get a chip as AD as yet. Brandon Ingram is playing good, but then they still didn't get a chip. But then I know you're not big on draft picks, Kems, but a part of the trade too, they gave up like 3 first-round picks. And one of the pick was they drafted this guy DeAndre Hunter. Yeah, but they drafted him and then he went to Pelicans, sent him to Atlanta. He's still in Atlanta. He's doing good, but he's not like you would say he's a player that really is standing out above his peers.
Yep.
So the AD trade, is a good trade, but now going to the future, definitely.
And I think it benefited those young pieces moving away because all of them went on and has gotten better. Julius Wande, MIP, most improved player, Brandon Ingram.
Right, you can look at that. But I can argue to say, all right, but guess what? I got a chip, which was my main objective. What? With who I wanted, with AD. And I don't want anybody to tell me nothing about no bubble. Because everybody had the same environment.
But the thing is, right? So I believe that, as Cream said, I believe the players had to leave. Listen, when you play with LeBron, it's championship or bust. There's look at Westbrook right now. If Westbrook was doing this similar thing in an OKC, it probably wouldn't get as glamorized as it has been glamorized. Obviously, he's not playing as well as we know he can play. But when you're playing with LeBron, there's heightened expectations, there's different kind of pressures because obviously he's getting old and he must win. So Ingram going away, Lonzo Ball, you see, even Lonzo developed a 3-point shot. Before he got hurt, he was leading the league in 3-point percentage. So for me, I've said this before. I would have traded AD for Karl Anthony Towns. I said that from day one. Trade him away because I just don't believe he can stay healthy. And again, the best ability is availability, and I don't think he'll be available. Him change him trainer, him change him chef, him change everything, start the yoga, him still injured. So I guess it just comes with who AD is. All right. So now let's move on to Memphis. So Memphis, when I came on here and I said, hey, Ja is good. I'll give him that. But he's not the one who makes Memphis tick. I don't say Memphis is a good team. Overall, they're well coached and they're a good team. Now, Memphis are now 20-2 without Ja. Playing great defense, number 1 at the free throw line, great offense. They beat a fully loaded Suns team without Ja. I think it was last night. Beat them to pieces. VJ, how far do you think Memphis can really go? And do you think this is a better team? We know Ja is a star, but do you think the team just plays better without him?
Initially when Grizzlies had won like 12 games, it was like 12-1 or whatever the case was. I was like, yeah, but it's easy games or easy teams that they beat. But no, it's like seems to be a trend where it doesn't matter if Ja play or not, they're gonna win. They win the games. I wouldn't say that they're better without Ja. Ja's still going to make them a better team. It's just that the replacement pieces they have when they're so deep. So when Ja goes down, they still have a next good player. I think Melton, he's playing really well for them as a role player. But it's a really well built team and they're very deep at every position. Do I think they can win? I think they have the talent to win, but I just feel like they're too inexperienced. Experience is one thing that win NBA games, especially in the playoffs. And I think the inexperience is going to be the reason why they lose, especially in that game with a couple minutes left in a playoff game, a game 6, a game 7. So I don't think it's their time this year, but next year I think they're going to be a force, one of the favorites to come out and win the championship.
Okay, so you say not this year, but next year. Hey, but just remember, VJ, next year LeBron coming back in his 20th season. ready for another championship. He's winning at least. He's winning at least 2. He's winning at least 2 in LA.
Coming off the bench.
You still have Westbrook, right?
No, I'm with Westbrook. I'm with Westbrook. Westbrook gone. Like, I'm not even want to talk about Gary. This Memphis team, they're getting some pretty good odds to win the championship, right? Do you think that they have what it takes to win the championship? If not, what do you think is needed? What do you think is lacking?
I like the team. They're a very good team. They're young, they're energetic. They can run. They're even without Ja, you can see that they play well, they move the ball, they have depth, right? They're very, very good and well balanced. But I just going back to what VJ said, when it comes to playoffs, when it comes to those tight games, when the cookie is crumbling, you want that player who experienced, does it in playoffs, especially on the big stage in the tight moments. So I think they have the potential to make some noise and go far in the playoffs, but I don't see them coming out the West. They can probably go to the conference finals, the Western Conference finals, but I don't see them coming out of the West. I think it's early; it's not their time yet. They another few years. They need some experience. They need to.
Why is that? I mean for cut you. Why the Hawks are trying to sell it? KD have 50. KD have 51 right now, and
3-point game.
240 left and it's a 3-point game. Why the Hawks?
Let me just say something for 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Kyrie Irving, brother, I watch the game from earlier. Stop watching them. Just follow up on my phone. The man can be an idiot sometimes, brother.
The man have more shots than KD and half the points.
Jesus Christ, man. Yo, I one
At
point.
this team on that talk about
Yeah. One time the man surrounded by 5 man. 5 man. Not even Kobe do that. I love Kobe. I love Kobe. Kobe my favorite player. 3 to 4 player man surround him and the man still try to force a shot out.
Say on the team now go ball.
No, man is 10 from 29 with 26 points. 10 from 29 with 26 points.
10 from 29.
10 from
These
29.
are the things we look at, Devin. These are the things
from 27.
That's why Brooklyn is going anywhere.
Like some other man did clock stand. Sometimes man just feed about the clock stand. Clock stand is just 2 of 4. 2 of 4.
Hawks up by 5 now with 1 minute and 30 to go.
I just start man. Kyrie. I just Kyrie. Boy,
go Hawks, go. Go Hawks, go. Hey, all right, but sorry about that, Gary.
Yeah, so I was saying it's not their time. I don't think it's their time this year. They another few years they need to build it, and get some experience and another few years they can be a force in the league in the Western Conference. But I don't see them coming out of the West, not this year.
Okay. Cream.
Yeah.
Let me talk to me about Memphis. Can they win it all?
With Gary, I think it's good when you win these like one-off games, But a series, it's different. Everybody pretty much know everybody's tendencies and schemes. So it's gonna be a different challenge when time a coach can keen on you. So I really want to see how them react in a series. But as Gary said, I think probably not this year. Maybe this year come a little bit too soon for them. But next year or going forward, there will be a problem for sure out west.
Okay. So let me talk about. So I want to talk about 2 persons. Paul George coming back for the Clippers. Zion coming back for New Orleans. Right. Obviously, we know Kawhi is not the kind of guy who comes back early. That man come back early for nothing. That man have to feel as best as he can feel before he decides to take the court. So Paul George is back, Zion is back. VJ, let me start with you. Do you think that make a difference because remember, Clippers have some, they added some pieces. Robert Covington, I think Covington had 43 last night. I think he had 43 against the Bucks. Obviously, Bucks never played Drew Holiday and them boys, but he had 43 points or 43 points, right? So does this do any difference? Because if the Clippers finish 8th, they go up against the Suns with Paul George. Can the Clippers do the upset?
Well, against the Suns or Grizzlies, if it was any other team, I would have said that they have a chance. And the main reason I feel like they would have had a chance would have been because of Ty Lue. I'm really impressed with how Ty Lue has coached the Clippers, especially last year playoff. And it just made me if my team was going against Clippers, that's it's not the player fearing, it's Ty Lue I'm fearing first, and then the players. So I don't think it's going to change the outcome. Clippers still going to lose if they do make the playoffs against Grizzlies or Suns. With the Pelicans, that team is a wild card. They're going to be what, 7th or 8th as well.
Well, there can only be 8.
Oh,
The
8.
Pelicans can only be 8. Yeah.
So they would face the Suns.
Yeah.
That would be a good series because I hopefully bring Dan off the bench and not upset what they're doing right now. But that would be an interesting series. I don't think they can beat the Suns still, but that Pelicans team after that trade, CJ McCollum, Ingram, and Zion as their core, and what's his name? Herbert Jones.
Yeah.
And Valanciunas. That's a really good. It's a talented team. So
it is.
It will be an interesting first round matchup.
All right. Cream, you have been one of Zion's biggest supporter, one of his biggest defenders, just like when you defend Kyrie Irving.
Yes, sir.
But we see him, you tell me that nobody can score like Kyrie, but here we have evidence when him come back in these one-half games, when he miss 8 games and then come back the 9th game and score 50 and they jump up and celebrate. Now when he's consistent in the team, I can't hear about any big games. But Zion, Zion coming back for the Pelicans. What threat does that pose? What threat does the Pelicans pose to the rest of the league? And Paul George, obviously the first night he came back, I think they played against Utah. Utah were up 25, and Clippers came back and win that game. Utah is so scrum. But yes, what we think can happen with these two teams?
Clippers with George potentially could be a spoiler, man. If it's only a pity we don't know if Kawhi is gonna be coming back, because then it's definitely on for Clippers. But with George alone, I'm not sure they'll have enough to upset a Suns or maybe even Memphis. So it probably won't be enough. It probably will be a first round exit with George. Zion now, I don't think he's coming back this season. I don't think so at all. But should he come back, would they make much noise in the postseason? I'm not sure as well if they would do that.
Okay. Gary.
Yeah. The Clippers, I share the sentiments with you guys. Paul George coming back. It's always good to have a player like Paul George. He can give them some boost, but I don't think the team is deep enough without Kawhi. They are not a championship caliber team. So even if they play, as guys said, Suns or the Memphis Grizzlies, I don't see them passing that the first round of that series. They can make it interesting, but I don't see them beating either team. So without Kawhi, they don't have a chance. And as I was looking at the reports, I don't think he's coming back this season. It's kind of hard to predict Kawhi. He's very he's an unpredictable character, but I don't see him coming back this season. Looks like next season for Kawhi. But that's for the Clippers. With George as a first round exit. Looking at the Pelicans, I agree with Cream. I don't see Zion coming back just for the playing to play a couple games and
listen. So the report said that he skipped 3-3 and went straight to 5-5 practice because he wants to be there. Mm-hmm. Because listen, without Zion, they ain't making the playoffs. With Zion, they have a greater chance to make the playoffs. Even if you get 60-70% Zion, they have a better chance than without Zion.
Well, yeah, true. But even with Zion, I don't see them. They can make the playoffs, the top 8, but they're not going,
First
further. But I don't think that team is even with Zion they can make some noise, but they're not ready. It's not they're not competent enough to pass the first round. Either with Zion.
Okay. So Kyrie Irving shot 30 times. So he's 10 for 30. Damn. For 26 points. Damn, that's what 33%.
That's like a Westbrook. That's like a Westbrook
That's
stat
a
line.
Westbrook thing. All right. So Devin, you have anything to say about the Zion Paul George?
Yo, man, I have nothing to say, man.
Yeah,
All right,
man.
the only thing I have to say is like with Zion getting him back, it like people always say about chemistry. I don't know how they're gonna fit in, and then that's the whole comments that CJ McCollum was making, like in comfort and say since him got to Zion, that contact him, no, nothing. It's like that thing not gonna work out. When them come back or not, still gonna exit. Paul George, same thing. They're gonna be first round exit.
First round exit. All right. So the last thing that we're going to do, yes, good win Hawks. Big up the Hawks. They understood the assignment and they got it done. All right. So the last thing we're going to do, we're just going. Obviously, this is premature, but we're just going to pick who we think is going to be the NBA champion of 2021-2022. Obviously, it's subject to change as we have our shows during the playoffs. But look at it right now. Who do we think will win the NBA championship? So we can say, all right, it's going to come from the West. You can get half mark if you get it from the West or the East, plus the champion. So, Devin, since you're the loser, back-to-back nights, Lakers lose, Brooklyn lose now, I'll let you go first. Who is the NBA champion, boss?
Oh my gosh, man.
Brooklyn, you know what I say. Brooklyn.
I'm rolling with Brooklyn.
What? Yo, brother.
I said it as a joke, but we never know the man actually serious.
Devin.
Can we pick three teams, like three potential winners?
Three. What the backside is?
Cream.
All right.
Cream.
Okay.
One pick three.
All right. This is what you can do. You can pick a team from the West and a team from the East. That's it.
Okay, fair. Okay, fair.
So, Devin, Brooklyn.
From the East, Brooklyn, and from the West, I'm going with the dark horse, Memphis.
Wow.
Brooklyn.
Wow. All right.
Brooklyn and Memphis. Yo, go ahead. Some money on that, Devin. My one maybe Shakuna even more. From the East, Brooklyn, and from the West.
I'm loyal to them debt.
From the West, we are going Golden State.
Golden who?
Golden State.
What the backside this man? That show you is a joke.
I two words pick no.
Brother, listen, Golden
we never
State.
said who to pick not to win, We want who to win.
Hey, listen, may I tell you from now, I am willing to bet anybody Golden State going home in the first round. First round knockout. I don't care who they play. It's going to be a first round knockout. Hey, Gary, run it by me.
Yeah, man, East. All right, no. Oh, you say East and West are one team. All right, but not even not go East or West. All I have to say is fear the deer. Back to back. Milwaukee. I like the team. They're playing well. As I said, don't watch their record. They're not running away with it this season. But I see them coming out the East because they look unstoppable. The East is not really, the Philadelphia is uncertain. Brooklyn, nobody's, only the eternal optimists and the fanatics really think about Brooklyn. So I really think it's Milwaukee's to lose. Coming out of the East. But it will be a rematch of the last year NBA Finals. I really think Phoenix will be going back because they look good. I don't really see anybody upstaging them. So it's a Milwaukee Phoenix final again, and I think Milwaukee will.
So basically, Giannis is going to be a double MVP and then a double. Where I say that's not happening, guys. VJ, go ahead, boss. Come put some context to this thing, boss.
Oh Lord, you're not going like this, Kim.
Brooklyn.
You're gonna call it Boston because I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm not going to choose an East and a West team. I'm going to choose 2 East teams because I have as my favorite right now would be the Bucks. And I don't think any team coming out of the West can beat the Bucks.
Okay.
The only team that I think can beat the Bucks is the Celtics.
So you have the Celtics or the Bucks winning the
Bucks,
championship?
yeah, but I have Bucks as my favorite. But if the Celtics beat them, then it's the Celtics I have as winning
Celtics. I don't know what you think the Celtics are.
But it all depends on Robert Williams coming back or not. He should be coming back like at the start of the second round. So it all depends on that. If we reach the second round, that is.
All right. So this is my team. So I have Philly. I have Philly winning the championship.
Can't pick the Lakers though.
And where you make up your face about Philly? Philly
I'm surprised in
the playoff, Mr. Cohen.
I'm surprised you said that when you don't like Harden.
But I like Joel. Joel, my guy. And I really believe Harden is going to come through these playoffs. The man can't feel so much time, brother. The law of averages tell me one playoffs is going to come through. And I think it's going to be this one. All right. So
I'd be more idiot than Kyrie, brother.
So I have Philly for the East and for the West.
7.
For the West, I'm picking Dallas. I'm picking Dallas for the West. I think this Dallas team reminds me of that team that beat LeBron in 2011. You know, one superstar and then just a bunch of players who play the role very well. All right. So, guys, we'll have no show next week. So we'll come back by the time it's ready for the first round of the playoffs. Devin, we'll talk off here. Hey, one last thing though. I remember when Curry was going for that little scoring, the 3-point shooting thing. The producer backstage was jumping up Curry. Cream was jumping up Curry. Gary was jumping up Curry. Now I can't hear nothing about Curry. The Curry gets steal. The Curry spoiled right now.
The man's
Going to Brown still.
Injured.
The man's
This
injured.
was before he was hurt. Cream. The man was terrible. Man was absolutely terrible.
Man just half farm, you know? Injured.
Man, the Curry water down, man.
It must see the postseason.
Well, listen, I have Golden. If anybody wants to take up the bet, just message me. I have Golden State going on first round. $200 putting up front. First round
Vinny,
Golden
you hear
State.
that, Vinny?
Hear that, Vinny? Come put up your money.
In my area one.
But hey, guys, definitely,
I
thank
would-
you for
I
being
would
here.
take that, by the way,
You'll take it, bet?
because they're going to play the Jazz more than likely. And I don't see Rudy Gobert defending Jordan Poole or Curry or Clay.
I don't. See, the
Jazz
thing
is worse than thing that when it comes to playoff, Jazz coming like them allergic to success. Me not bet no money against them.
So the thing is, VJ, I don't think Curry is going to play the first 2 games of that season.
Well, it all depends on if Curry can play.
That is what me hinge my bet, pal. Should Curry play a game
Wednesday.
one?
No, man, he's going to be back. He's going back for the first game at the postseason.
Oh, you know that. Who said that?
Steve Kerr, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. But, all right, guys. So definitely big up to the producer. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for everyone. And remember, no show next week, but we'll be back the following week as the playoffs start. Have a good night.